Hello and welcome to another episode of Lore and Loot. Today we're going to be doing a guide to light armor and shields. Now armor comes in three varieties in Morrowind. You can find heavy, medium, and light armor, which includes the chest pieces, helms, pauldrons, boots, gauntlets, and bracers, and greaves. Generally speaking, a complete set of light armor will include everything from head down to the feet. However, there are a few pieces of light armor that are single set items, in other words, a helm without the accompanying chest or boots. Now this guide is not going to be covering any light armor found in either of the expansions, Tribunal or Blood Moon, and it won't cover any magical or unique items or relics. Those will be covered in a separate video. Alright, so like I said, there are three major types of armor. As a general rule, heavy armor provides more protection from damage, while light armor protects the least. On the other hand, light armor weighs less than heavy armor. So as with most things in this game, everything is balanced. You can have more protection with heavy armor, but move more slowly and be able to carry less loot overall, or you can be able to move quickly, even if fully armored, while still being able to carry more loot, but at the trade-off of reduced armor protection. Now, those with high skill in light armor are those who are trained and conditioned in its use. The wearer is able to move more effectively while wearing light armor and receive a larger armor bonus as a result. Some races favor light armor. Those are the Bosmer, who start off with a plus 10 to the skill, while the Dunmer, Imperials, and Khajiit have a plus 5. Certain classes have light armor as a major skill. Those are the Agent, the Archer, the Assassin, the Rogue, the Thief, and the Witch Hunter. These classes start off with the light armor skill at 30. Meaning that at best, a Bosmer with one of these classes will start off with a light armor skill of 40. Minor skills boost this skill by 15 to start. The classes with light armor as a minor skill are the Acrobat, the Barbarian, the Healer, Monks, Nightblades, and Scouts. Now light armor is governed by the Agility attribute. Now as a quick refresher, an attribute governs a set number of skills. Whenever you level up a skill, you are then able to raise that attribute at your next level up. There are three ways to increase your light armor skill. The first is simple. Wear the armor while you take damage. Every time you get walloped, stabbed, smacked, sliced or diced, punched, or bitten while wearing light armor, your skill with light armor increases. The second way is to pay someone to teach you how to more effectively fight and maintain your light armor. Unfortunately, there are only 2 light armor trainers of any renown. Ruchia Conesian, found in Ebonheart, can teach you up to level 70, and the master trainer in light armor is Erin, the Bosmer Thief. She can be found in the Andis Trade House in Margon. Finally, you can find skill books that will increase your skill in light armor. These books can only be read once for the boost. The books are The Rearguard, Ice and Chitin, Lord Jornabet's Last Dance, and Sermons 21 and 28 of the 36 Lessons of Vivek. In addition to all of that, there are some factions that have light armor as a preferred skill. These factions are House Lalu, the Morak Tong, and the Thieves Guild. Technically speaking, the Ashlanders and the Blades also favor light armor, but they aren't a normal faction. Also, as a little bit of trivia, the Kimona Tong and the Census and Excise are factions that favor light armor, but they aren't joinable. Alright, let's talk about the pieces themselves. Each piece of armor has 3 main attributes: weight, durability, which the game calls condition, and the armor rating. Weight is self-explanatory. Durability is displayed as a fraction, Once the nominator reaches 0, the piece of armor breaks, and you have to repair it to be able to wear it again. The durability can be increased at any time by having a smith fix it, or you can fix it yourself with one of the various repair hammers in the game. It's important to keep your armor's durability high. Finally, the armor rating. Each piece of armor has its own armor rating. Putting on additional pieces increases your armor rating. The higher the number, the more protection you get. Please note that the armor rating is not actually just a sum of what the armor itself states. For example, just because the piece of armor says 50 doesn't mean that putting it on gives you a 50 armor rating. The calculation is a bit more complicated than that because it takes into account your armor skill as well as the armor piece's armor rating. Additionally, each piece of armor is given a different weight when calculating the armor rating. For example, the chest pieces will give more armor than the gauntlets. This makes sense, of course. This is just something to keep in mind when you are looking at that little number underneath your character paper doll model. Just remember that the number down there is not going to match what the individual pieces of armor numbers are. But enough of that, you didn't come here for math. I suppose a fourth attribute to each armor piece is the value in gold, but to be honest, most light armor pieces really aren't that valuable. Nevertheless, I'll give you the gold value for each of them, in addition to giving you the other attributes. I'm going to go in ascending order of armor rating. I'm also going to go by what body part they go on. And we're going to start at the top, the helms. It's interesting to note that Argonians and Khajiit cannot wear most of the helms in the game. I suppose their snouts or ears get in the way? The only helms those two races are able to wear are the Netch leather helm, the Nordic fur helm, the Colovian fur helm, and the glass helm. First up is the Netch leather helm. The Netch leather helm has an armor rating of 5, a weight of 3, an endurance of 50, and is worth 15 gold. Next is the Nordic Fur Helm, which has an armor rating of 5, a weight of 1.5, an endurance of 50, and is also worth 15 gold. Up next is the Telvanni Dust Adept Helm, which also has an armor rating of 5, a weight of 1.5, an endurance of 50, and is worth 30 gold. The Telvanni Mole Crab Helm has an endurance of 6, a weight of 2, an endurance of 60, and is worth 19 gold. Up next is the Boiled Netch Leather Helm, which has an armor rating of 7, a weight of 3, an endurance of 70, and is worth 17 gold. This doofy little number is the Colovian Fur Helm, with an armor rating of 7, a weight of 2, an endurance of 70, and is worth 25 gold. Up next we have the Telvanni Cephalopod Helm, with an armor rating of 8, a weight of 2, an endurance of 80, and is worth 50 gold. The Chitin Helm is next. You may also see this in the game as the Chitin Mask Helm. Both of them have the exact same model and the exact same stats. They have an armor rating of 10, a weight of 1, an endurance of 100, and are worth 19 gold. Up next we have another strange looking one, the Rhetorian Watchman's Helm, with an armor rating of 11, a weight of 1, an endurance of 110, and is worth 24 gold. The Morag Tong Helm is next, with an armor rating of 12, a weight of 3, an endurance of 120, and is worth 20 gold. Up next we have the glass helm, and you'll notice a theme with every single piece of armor. Glass is by far the best light armor. The glass helm has an armor rating of 50, a weight of 3, an endurance of 500, and is worth 12,000 gold. Next we'll do the pauldrons, which cover the shoulders. First up are the Netch leather pauldrons with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 4, an endurance of 50, and are worth 12 gold. Next up are the Nordic Fur Pauldrons, also with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 3, an endurance of 50, and are worth 12 gold. The Chitin Pauldrons are next, with an armor rating of 10, a weight of 2, an endurance of 100, and are worth 16 gold. Up next we have the glass pauldrons. The glass pauldrons have an armor rating of 50, a weight of 3, an endurance of 500, and are worth 9,600 gold. The chest pieces will be next. First up we have the Netch leather Queerus with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 12, an endurance of 150, and is worth 35 gold. The Nordic bearskin Queerus is next with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 9, an endurance of 150, and is also worth 35 gold. The Nordic Fur Queerus is next, also with an armor rating of 5, also with a weight of 9, an endurance of 150, and is also worth 35 gold. Coming in next is the boiled Netch leather Queerus with an armor rating of 7, a weight of 12, an endurance of 210, and is worth 47 gold. The Chitin Curious is next. This one has an armor rating of 10, a weight of 6, an endurance of 300, and is worth 45 gold. Up next is an interesting one. We have the Imperial Newt Scale Queerus with an armor rating of 10, a weight of 9, an endurance of 300, and is worth 100 gold. Up next is the Imperial Studded Leather Queerus with an armor rating of 10, a weight of 9, an endurance of 300, and is worth 65 gold. And finally, coming in at 50 armor rating is the Glass Queerus. It has a weight of 18, an endurance of 1,500, and is worth a staggering 28,000 septims. Next up are the Bracers and Gauntlets. Bracers are sort of like wrist guards. They don't cover the fingers, but rather extend from the wrist to the elbow. Gauntlets are basically armored gloves. And although you would think gauntlets would provide more protection in real life, there really isn't a correlation in the game between armor rating and whether your fingers are covered or not. First up, we have the cloth bracers. These have an armor rating of 4, a weight of 1.5, an endurance of 20, and are worth 3 gold. Up next is a strange one, the left and right leather bracers. I give them individually because although they both have an armor rating of 5 and a weight of 1.5 and are both worth 5 gold, the left leather bracer has an endurance of 20, while the right leather bracer has an endurance of 25. It's the only piece of light armor that has such a difference in endurance between left and right. Up next we have the Nordic Fur Bracers. These also have an armor rating of 5, a weight of 1.5, an endurance of 25, and are worth 5 gold. Up next we have the Netch leather gauntlets with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 3, an endurance of 25, and are worth 7 gold. The Nordic Fur Gauntlets are next. These also have an armor rating of 5, a weight of 1.5, an endurance of 25, and are worth 7 gold. Up next are the Chitin Gauntlets. These have an armor rating of 10, a weight of 1, an endurance of 50, and are worth 9 gold. And finally, of course, are the glass bracers with an armor rating of 50, a weight of 3, an endurance of 400, and are worth 4,000 gold. The Greaves are next. Greaves are essentially armored pants. First up, we have the Netch leather Greaves. These have an armor rating of 5, a weight of 7, an endurance of 50, and are worth 22 gold. Nordic Fur Greaves are next, also with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 5.4, an endurance of 50, and are worth 22 gold. Up next are the Chitin Greaves. These have an armor rating of 10, a weight of 5.4, an endurance of 100, and are worth 29 gold. Finally, the Glass Greaves, with an armor rating of 50, a weight of 9, an endurance of 500, and are worth 17,600 gold. The final category of armor we're going to cover is boots. The Netch leather boots are first with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 8, an endurance of 50, and are worth 10 gold. Next are the Nordic Fur Boots with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 6, an endurance of 50, and are worth 10 gold. Coming up next are the Chitin Boots with an armor rating of 10, a weight of 6, an endurance of 100, and are worth 13 gold. And of course, coming in at an armor rating of 50 are the Glass Boots. Glass Boots have a weight of 3, an endurance of 500, and are worth 8,000 gold. Now there is one more set of boots. These are the heavy leather boots. In the base game, these have an armor rating of 50 as well, just like the Glass Boots. A weight of 8, an endurance of 500, and are worth 100 gold. However, for some reason this was considered a bug, and if you are using the Morrowind patch project, the stats of these boots has been altered. They now have an armor rating of 8, an endurance of 500, a weight of 8, and a value of 100 gold. Now that's it for the light armor. Technically we're done, but we are going to cover shields. Shields are not technically armor. They're shields, and they are governed by their own skill called block. The block skill is not affected by your light armor. Having a high light armor skill will not make you a better blocker, and being a good blocker will not make you have a higher light armor skill. Now, blocking is random. Well, What I mean is, blocking, much like hitting an opponent with a weapon, it's a function of the enemy's probability to hit you, calculated against your probability to block. Evade is also thrown into the mix to further complicate things. The basic idea is that if an enemy attack is marked as a hit, quote unquote, then your block skill then comes into effect to see if you block the attack. You cannot use a shield if you have a torch or a two-handed weapon equipped. You cannot block if you have a spell readied. Your chance of blocking will always be between 10% and 50%. Even if your skill is 100, even if you cheat and use console commands and increase your blocking to 500, you can never block 100% of incoming attacks. Let's run through the blocking skill quickly. This will apply to all shields, whether made of light, medium, or heavy material, as that doesn't affect your actual blocking skill. Block is governed by the agility attribute. Orcs are the only race that receive a starting skill to block, and it's a +10. Archers, barbarians, bards, crusaders, the knight, scouts, spellswords, and the warrior are classes that have block as a major skill. You'll notice archers are in this list, which is really weird to me because you can't block when you're using a bow. The agent, assassin, monk, pilgrim, rogue, and witch hunter classes have block as a minor skill. Now, there are 4 trainers in the game that can train you up above level 70 in block. The first one is Ulm's Drathen, found in Molag Mar, and Cyrillus Sacus in the Hawkmoth Legion Fort, and Ebonheart can train you up to level 71. Well, technically, Cyrillus Sacus is a trainer, but he doesn't actually provide training in the unpatched version of the game due to a bug. Cargul Groboguk in the Vacant Tower in Dagon Fell can train you up to level 82. The master block trainer is the Red Guard Shardy, who can be found outside in the Buckmoth Legion Fort near Alderoon. The factions that prefer members with blocking skill are the Fighters Guild and the Imperial Legion. And finally, there are 5 books that give you an increase to block if you read them. The Death Blow of Abernanit, The Mirror, A Dance in the Fire Chapter 2, and Sermons 7 and 32 of the 36 Lessons of Vivek. Now, there are 2 main reasons why I've included shields in the light armor category. First, there just isn't enough material to warrant an entire video on shields. There are only 7 light shields in the game. Second, the shields are made of the same material as the armor. Each armor type has a corresponding shield, and it seems to me like they're part of a set, so thematically it just made sense to include them along the armor. Anyways, onto the shields themselves, ranked from least armor rating to highest. Up first we have the Netch leather shield, with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 6, an endurance of 100, and is worth 17 gold. Up next is the Nordic leather shield, also with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 4.5, an endurance of 100, and is worth 25 gold. The Netch leather tower shield is next with an armor rating of 5, a weight of 9, an endurance of 100, and is worth 25 gold. The Chitin Shield is next with an armor rating of 10, a weight of 4, an endurance of 200, and is worth 22 gold. Chitin Tower Shield is up next with an armor rating of 12, a weight of 6, an endurance of 240, and is worth 32 gold. And finally, we have the glass shields. First up is the regular glass shield, This one has an armor rating of 50, a weight of 9, an endurance of 1000, and is worth 13,600 gold. Finally, we have the best shield in the game, the Glass Tower Shield. This one has an armor rating of 55, a weight of 9, an endurance of 1,100, and is worth 20,000 septims. So as you can see, there are only 4 actual full sets from head to toe of light armor: Nordic Fur, Netch Leather, Chitin, and Glass. Now, of course, there are enchanted variables and unique magical versions of these items, but like I said, we'll cover those in a different video. And that's it for this guide to light armor and shields. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next episode of Lore and Loot.